What's going on, everyone? It's Sam. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is my entry into the One Villainous Scene playlist that was set up by Nando V Movies, because what unites all the heroes that we love? Villains. This compilation of videos is content creators who, as you probably already guessed it, are sharing their favorite villainous scenes across all of film. For my villain of choice, Nando actually took my first thoughts on the scene, so I went with one that might be fresh in your memory. I wanted to take a further look at He Who Remains, or Kang, in the Loki finale, specifically his offer to Loki and Sylvie. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go.
This is wild.
Jonathan Majors' portrayal of He Who Remains is beautifully disturbing in an absolutely fantastic way. Certain actors are able to ooze charisma through not only their delivery, but presence in a scene, and Majors does exactly that as He Who Remains. As we know now, this character is a variant of Kang the Conqueror, so the MCU created an amalgamation of Kang's Immortus variant from the comics and He Who Remains, who was the last director of the TVA at the end of the universe, and it works brilliantly. And for the remainder of this video, let me just call him Kang, because it's an unneeded mouthful to say He Who Remains. So if you know Kang, he is a pest, an annoyance, and in the MCU, well, he's exactly just that again. And what makes it better is how eerily dangerous he makes his character's presence felt. Let's be real, the whole performance, nearly a full episode, is dedicated to introducing this powerful villain in a snarky and toned down way. And what makes it better is that this version isn't about fighting. He's old, he doesn't care. He acts like a clown, but he's also very proud and serious. But of all things that he is, he's maniacal. And that is exactly what makes Josh Brolin's Thanos great, Heath Ledger's Joker, and so many more comic book movie villains, or really any villain in that matter. Can you play both sides of the fence, and can you leave the character and audience to second guess themselves on a love and hate relationship with them? To explain this with specificity, let's look at Kang's bargain, the Gambit.
There's two options. One, you kill me and destroy all this, and you don't just have one devil, you have an infinite amount. Or, you two run the thing. And that's the Gambit.
As our good friend Mobius says, it's always the game within the game for you when he talks to the Loki variants. And I think Kang looks at both Lokis like how he views himself. He's playing a game, and for analogy's sake, he's the king of the chessboard. Sure, the pawn can get to you if you really try like Loki and Sylvie did, but ultimately, as the king, the decisions you made likely got you into the position to lose to the pawn. But he invites them to see him, and why? Because he is the definition of a mastermind. He knows how the game works. Hell, he described how it works. He created it, right? He laid out who he was, how things are the way they are, and what his solution is to keep the time loop going. And so if you really think about it, he just wants his younger self back in power. He's older than he looks, he's more bored than what it seems, and he's ready to move on. So what does he offer? Kill me and allow for a younger me to take back over with another multiversal war, or you take over. But by offering this scenario, he knows because Sylvie can't trust anyone that she will eventually rebel, which she does, and it will still lead to his death. Like Loki says, you can't trust and I can't be trusted. There was no chance that they would be in power and it would have worked because of their moral objections to the idea of the TVA. And he also knows that at this point in time, Loki wouldn't kill Sylvie, which he doesn't. Remember, he describes this game as something for the young and the hungry, and while he makes it seem like an invitation for Loki and Sylvie to take over, he knows exactly what he's doing. That young and hungry person is the conqueror version of himself, the true prime Nathaniel Richards Kang. You may hate the dictator, but if you dispose of him, far worse will come and fill the void. And what very few villains are able to do on screen is put the responsibility into the hero's hands. Sure, we've seen scenes like, for example, Green Goblin making Spiderman choose between his girlfriend or kids, but rarely ever does the villain put his own future into the hands of the hero, or anti-hero for that matter, and that is why Kang is a maniacal villain. And the best part about this entire scene in the office is the fact that not once does he resort to violence. Without Loki fighting Sylvie, there is zero action in this entire Marvel finale, a testament to who He Who Remains' presence is in that room. He is a mastermind of time, a mastermind of words, and his deception led him to where he wanted to be, the path for the young conqueror to lead once again. Because if you believe that he's evil,
Just wait till you meet my variants.
this ending scene is also one of the few times a villain wins literally by losing. And in that moment, Sylvie realizes too. She will see him soon, matter of fact, everyone will, because the Kang era has just begun, And that
is destiny fulfilled.
But that's all for this video though. Thank you Nando once again for another one of these projects. They're always fun to create. All the links are in my socials in the description below, and if you like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Go check out some of the other videos on this playlist. And other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm another Marvel guy, and I'll see you soon.